Today we're here with Christopher, and he's going to be telling his story about being on the sexual offense registry. Hi, Christopher, and thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you taking time to tell your story and allowing us to put it on lives on the registry.
Well, I got out of the service when I would just turn 21 after doing 4 years. I did enlisted at 17, a month after 9/11. And it's kind of tough to think about how different people treated me compared to now. It's like night and day. I remember, I believe it was 2004 or 2005, where Time magazine named the U.S. Soldier Person of the Year. Yeah, I had it pretty good. I was a full-time college student afterwards. I didn't last in college that long. I had a drinking problem at the time. I had a lot of growing up to do. I come from a very small town of about 130 people. Everybody knew of me. Everybody knew I was over there. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like if I went back to that small town and having the register. I made this bed, so I got to sleep in it. We are the creators of our own demise. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously somewhere along the line, you got in trouble. You did 60 days and you came home. Tell me about, how that was for you when you got home, when you were released and got back into, wherever you were living at that time.
Yeah, when I got released, I was still living in Custer, South Dakota. I started going to church, and I showed up every Sunday in a shirt and tie, and I knew nobody. And people knew that I had no family and that I was up there all alone. So there was some antagonism, some hillbillies. I remember one night, 2:00 in the morning, there was a chainsaw revving outside my apartment window. Certain people weren't going to make my life easy. I kind of got to ask myself, what would I have done if I was in their shoes?
It wasn't an easy time for you.
No, some people suggested that I go back home. There really is no home to go back to.
Right. What about work? I mean, during that time, was it hard to find a job?
I was thankful I got a job at Subway when I got out. I smoked pot on the 4th of July, and I was on 24/7 at the time while on probation, which means that twice a day, I had to go to the sheriff's office and blow in a tube. That was becoming very annoying. So I just went back to treatment at the VA hospital in Hot Springs, South Dakota. I got a job there because it's really a good program. I was doing a medical supply job. Things were going great. I actually met a girl by the name of Andrea, and we started a pretty serious relationship. And about 6 months into that relationship, she called me up and said she was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with her. I called my probation officer. She gave me the green light. I move in with her. I go to register, and they say, whoa, you can't live there. It's too close to a community safety zone, which was a park. It's 1,500 feet. I can't live around 1,500 feet from the radius of that park. The cop actually told me that he measured it with his radar gun. He said I was 27 feet too close. From property line to property line, I guess. Everything was going great. I'm thinking I'm going to be a dad. And next thing I know, I spend the next 6 months in county in Deadwood, South Dakota, and the next year in Springfield and outside Yankton, South Dakota.
So with this relationship with this lady, you ended up going back to jail for that?
I wound up going back to jail because we decided, since I couldn't use her residence where I could register, we talked about it. She's like, well, just use my sister's address. And that's what I did. I told them I was living here when I wasn't.
Yeah, so it's a technical violation. So you didn't go back to jail for another, sexual crime. You went back to jail on a technical. Society needs to understand, is that most of the people that are on the registry will never reoffend. Okay, Christopher, tell me about your personal relationships today, like, girlfriends, guys you hang out with, buddies, that kind of thing.
I don't have many friends. I'm pretty introverted individual. You could say I've basically been living this quarantine type lifestyle for the last 5 to 7 years ish.
Mm.
Just because I just had this mentality that I didn't want to tarnish anybody's reputation due to my past. Just the mere fact that I am ashamed about what I did, but at the same time, people say I just got to put the past behind me and forget about it. But when I got to go to the registry every 3 months to the courthouse, it doesn't get easier anytime. Yeah, I have very few friends. I haven't had a girlfriend in about 5 years. I tried a little internet dating, but it's my understanding that women engage in relationships that are even and up. They don't marry down the social ladder. I do think, and I do hope that someday I'm not going to regret the past, and I'm going to be thankful for it, because I'm going to meet somebody that I'm going to be able to share my life with. But as of now, I haven't quite earned it yet, I guess.
Christopher, tell me about how the registry has treated you in reference to you being on it, and then the struggles that's come into your life because of it.
I've had about 2 or 3 jobs where nobody knew about my past. And then there's always that one day I go to work and everybody knows. And they look at me with absolute disgust. And I'm kind of a sensitive guy. And it really hurts. And nobody was really willing to ask, okay, what happened? Why are you on the registry? There was none of that. There was just silent treatment and looks of disgust. And I've been working primarily as a cook as of late. And I haven't been employed for about 3 years. But thankfully, the VA, I was at 80% for quite some time. And I got bumped up to 100% unemployability. And that has been a godsend. So I'm pretty blessed to have a pretty financial safety net, per se. I'm pretty blessed to have that, but I'm sure there are people out there that wouldn't like the fact that I get a VA check being on the registry.
Somebody that served their country, you earned it.
Thank you.
I wouldn't feel any disdain about that at all. There's a lot of folks out there that are, on disability. They worked their whole life and they're on the registry, so it doesn't disqualify them. They did what they did. Sure. And they paid their dues, and now they just want to live their life. They just want to reintegrate back into society. And unfortunately, the registry hampers that a great deal, as you well know. Tell me about the restrictions that you have to live under, as far as the registry is concerned. What can you do and can't you do?
It's my understanding that I can't go to any daycare or elementary school, or any high school for that matter, any school. I'm very good at not putting myself in a position where somebody can say anything about me doing anything wrong, because I do nothing but leave the house, get necessities, walk my dog. But just today, I walked my dog at around 7:45 a.m. And as it was really cold. And as I was thinking, I was like, it's about the time where kids are on their way to school. I shouldn't be walking my dog right now, because somebody might say that I'm trying to, intermingle with kids on the way to school. Those are the exact type of things that I try to avoid. Is it okay to leave the house now? What could happen? What could go wrong? And those are the things that always run through my mind. And I hope someday I won't have to think that way. Free, happy, joyous, and free, like they always used to say in AA.
Tell me about your future. Tell me about how you see your future, and what steps are you taking today to get you to that place.
Be quite honest, I'm not a very goal-oriented person. If you have responsibility, it gives your life meaning. If you have no responsibility and you're just not doing anything, no job, nothing to really do. So that's one thing about getting the dog. It gave me some responsibility, and she has enhanced my life immensely, because before I had her, I was in a dark place.
It sounds like, and I'm not a doctor, but it sounds like that you've got some level of PTSD from being on the registry, some level of paranoia. You're scared to go out there and live your life. It seems like there's a lot of people that are in your position. I've talked to a lot of different registrants. Different registrants have different issues depending on where they live, what state they're in. You know, it's different in every state that you go to. The rules and regulations at some point are similar, but they're not the same no matter where you go. You know, your story and your situation is familiar with a lot of people. You're not the only one that's suffering these things, and you're not the only one that's having to live under an oppressive registry. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing these interviews, is to talk to people like yourself to get a snapshot of you, if you will, of your life and how the registry, you know, is affecting you. So Christopher, thank you for taking time to, you know, spend with us today and tell us your story. And everyone that's watching, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for future notifications, and go down in the comments and leave us a comment about Chris's story or any of the other stories that you've watched. And we'll see you in the next video.
This is Brenda Jones, Executive Director of NARSOL. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out our other Lives on the Registry videos. If you want to know more, visit narsol.org and check out the Resources tab. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for future notifications. See you again soon.